Welcome to Knoxville Raceway Inside Line with your host Eric Arnold, presented by Lucas Oil, FVP, Casey's General Store, Speed Sport, Arnold Motor Supply, RacingJunk.com, and Pella Motors.
Good evening, race fans. Welcome to the program. This is the Knoxville Raceway Inside Line. I am your host, Eric Arnold, Knoxville Raceway track historian. And boy, did we have a great Saturday night this past week at the Knoxville Raceway. History was made. McKenna Hassey, 18-year-old girl from Carlisle, winning her first feature event at the Knoxville Raceway. Also the first woman to win a sprint car race at the track in the long storied history of the Knoxville Raceway. We've been racing for 62 years, weekly racing with sprint cars and super modifieds. Over a 100-year history of this dirt track facility, and this is the first time that we've had a female win. 29 women have competed at the racetrack in a sprint car before her. She is the first to get a win, and congratulations to McKenna. We're so happy for her. She's been a great ambassador to Knoxville Raceway and for sprint car racing and for Iowa in general. She's done a great job this past week after her win, kind of this newfound celebrity status she has. She's been doing multiple TV shows, radio shows. She's actually going to be on ESPN as well. So great to see her reaching out and hopefully attracting some new fans to the sprint car capital of the world in Knoxville. So congratulations once again to McKenna. She's not going to be on the show this week. I'm giving her a break with as much demands of her time that she's had and family things, helping her sister move to Nashville. Just a lot of things going on with her, so I didn't want to bother her this week. Her time was limited, so we're going to try to have McKenna on next week possibly. So coming up a little bit later in the show, we're going to have the guy who kind of got overshadowed in all of this. The guy that won the 410 feature Saturday night was Justin Henderson from Sioux Falls. So Justin will be joining us here in a little while. First, let's get into our Lucas Oil recap of last week's racing action. We did dodge a bullet there with some showers earlier in the afternoon. It was overcast all day, but we were able to make it. Started on time and had 81 race cars checked in for the night. We had 30 410 sprint cars signed in, and picking up quick time was Brian Brown with a lap of 15.575. That's 115.5 miles per hour. Second quick was Justin Henderson, Danny Lasowski, Terry McCarl, Brooke Tatnall, Ian Madsen, Bronson Mason, and Austin McCarl. Rounded up your top 8 there. Those top 8 guys would advance through their heat races and then redraw for starting positions in the A main. The 410 heat races were excellent. Brian Brown, Justin Henderson, and Danny Lasowski, all 3 of those guys winning their respective heat races, starting from the third row outside. So nice, wide racing surface for those guys to race on in the heat races. Put on a great show all night long in that class. The A main, boy, it was all Justin Henderson other than the first few laps. Ian Madsen jumped out to the lead. Henderson got around him on lap 4. He was gone and he pulled away. Even on some restarts there towards the end of the race, he was still able to pull away. Dane Lasowski came from the 8th starting spot to finish 2nd. Davey Heskin, he charged from 11th to 5th. Don Drought Jr., a new team this year, with Troy Renfro. They kind of struggled in qualifying, started 6th in the B main, transferred from the B main to the back of the A, and then they were able to charge all the way up to 6th place in the A main. So great run for Don Drought Jr. Good to see that new team is starting to come together. Did have a couple of hard crashes there in the 410 A main. RJ Johnson was involved in a crash on the start. Too bad for RJ. He was involved with a crash with Tasker Phillips. They crashed on the initial start. Unfortunate for RJ as he trashed a car for the second consecutive week. RJ is looking for some help to get a car back together this next week. So if anybody's listening out there, driver that needs some help, RJ Johnson definitely could use some help with some backing if at all possible. Aaron Rutzel, guy has been doing really well here in the last few months. Won a couple of sprint car races, performed well with the World of Outlaws. He showed up on this night in the 410 class for the first time at Knoxville, and he was running well until a left rear tire blew up on him about midway, and then as he was trying to get his car stopped after the tire blew, he collected Tim Kading, and then Tim Kading got upside down, crashing his car. So rough night for Tim Kading as well. Justin Henderson coming out with the win, his first win of the season, obviously. So Daniel Lasowski was 2nd, Ian Madsen 3rd, Terry McCarl 4th, Davey Heskin 5th, and then Don Drought Jr. was 6th. So really good show on Saturday night for the 410 class. In the 360 class, we had 27 cars enter. Clint Garner set quick time with a 16.449. Nate Van Haften was second, followed by Jamie Ball, John Egan, and Tony Schilling, the top 5 in qualifying. The heat races were won by Wayne Johnson, Ryan Roberts from Nebraska, and Justin Henderson picking up the win in Heat 3 from the third row. Wayne Johnson kind of dominated this 360 feature on this night. He started on the front row and led all 18 laps. For a while, Clint Garner looked like he might have something for him, but then Wayne was able to pull away. Justin Henderson, racing both 410 and 360 classes, he kind of came on late there and got the second place position away from Clint Garner, and they put on a pretty good show there for quite a few laps racing side by side. So fall South Dakota drivers put on a good show there. So winning the feature, Wayne Johnson, Justin Henderson second, Clint Garner third, Nate Van Haften fourth, Tony Schilling fifth. Last year's track champion Joe Beaver was sixth, and last week's feature winner Russ Hall was seventh. So put on a good show for us again this week. Moving on to the 305 class, we had 24 cars signed in Saturday night. Quick time was McKenna Hassey with a lap of 17.727. She went out dead last in the qualifying order. That may have been an advantage to her with the track widening out a little bit. Sometimes early in the night, the track is a little slow, a little slick, and then it becomes a little tackier and faster there towards the end of that order. So drawing late in the 305 class is never a bad thing. The heat winners for the 305s were Stacy Alexander, Cade Higday, and Mitchell Alexander. The A-main started with Chase Wanner taking the lead, and at one point he was leading by half a straightaway. We had a couple of cautions. Christian Bowman, rookie, his second night out. He finished fifth last week. Crashed hard into turn one. He collected Trevor Smith, who also crashed then. Both drivers were okay. From there, it was McKenna who reeled in the leaders. She passed Stacy Alexander for second. Used the bottom line, ran that to perfection. She went by Wanner on lap 6, and the crowd just went crazy. She was able to hold off all the challenges on restarts after that and drove away each time. She did a phenomenal job, a great run by her. Redeeming win for her as the past week. She was running in the top 5 and they ran out of fuel, and come to find out the new engine that they put in this year, it is a little thirstier for fuel than the one they had last year, and they miscalculated for fuel. So with their features only being 15 laps, rarely do they fill up their fuel tanks. So kind of miscalculated there, and they redeemed themselves this week, had enough fuel in it, drove away from the field at the end, and the crowd just went crazy for when McKenna won. She was there pretty late, signing autographs all night. Even when it started raining there a little bit, she was still there signing autographs. Fans stuck it out. So kudos to her on that win once again. It was great to see Terry McCarl back in the sprint car this past Saturday night. After a rough crash the week before, turned out he had a fractured L4 vertebrae. He climbs back in the car this week, fights through that pain. He qualified fourth, and then he finished fourth in the A-main, so a good run for him. That's one tough customer right there, Terry McCarl. Glad he had a safe night and performed well. Daniel Lasowski is your 410 point leader at this point, 77 points over Justin Henderson. It's early yet, but I would definitely look for Daniel Lasowski to hang on to that point lead the rest of the year. I'm sure the guy we're going to talk to here in a little bit, though, Justin Henderson, might have something to say about that. So that is our recap of last week's action. Stay tuned. When we come back from the break, we will talk with our 410 feature winner from this past week, Sioux Falls, South Dakota driver, Justin Henderson. You're listening to the Knoxville Raceway Inside Line on KBOE. Thanks for listening to the Knoxville Podcast. This segment is brought to you by Casey's General Store. Visit a Casey's General Store near you and support a great company that supports dirt track racing. Casey's is famous for pizza. Welcome back to the Knoxville Raceway Inside Line. Joining us on the phone now is 410 feature winner this past week, Justin Henderson. And Justin, thanks for coming on to the show. And boy, you pick up the win, but that McKenna Hassey kind of stole all your thunder here with this media whirlwind she's been going through this week.
Yeah, that's okay. That's really cool that she got her first run historical win at Knoxville, so it's not that big of a deal.
We'll talk about your race this week, kind of that 410 feature. It looked like you guys got the lead about lap 4 from Ian, and from there it looked pretty easy. Yeah,
it was. We had a really good race car. The kind of race car that you dream about. It was just absolutely perfect. It was fun to drive, and it didn't seem to matter how many restarts we had, we still were able to maintain the lead, which is a good sign that we had one of the fastest cars on the racetrack.
Yeah, and then the 360 class, you guys go out and run second. I think you guys are leading owner points in the 360 class now, so a lot of good competition in that 360 class as well.
lot of good competition in the 360 class. Clint Garner's back. I think he won 5 or so titles in a row leading up to last year when they switched over to 410. So it's not like it's going to be an easy task at all to win the championship this year, but it'll definitely be fun, that's for sure.
Does racing the 360 car, does it feel like it gives you an advantage of getting some track time before you go out for that 410 race?
I definitely feel like it gives us an advantage, and that's why we do it. The 360 deal, not to take anything away from it, but it's not a real high priority as far as winning the championship or exactly how we do that night. I mean, Saturday night, for example, there were some things that we were tossing back and forth, and Brian said, well, let's try it on the 360 car first and see how it works. That's what it's here for. And, that's just one example of being able to use that car as a tool every night instead of just another good finish.
What are the logistics like of having to run 2 cars on one night? I mean, do you have to have more crew members than some teams would?
Yeah, for me, it's not very hard at all. For Brian, it's definitely tougher. I mean, he needs an extra guy at least, or maybe 2 guys. This year, a good friend of mine, Chris Timmerman, who's been with me for a long time, he's helping out on Brian's deal a little bit to help use some of the work. But, I mean, they have a really good handle on it. They've always got such good organization. As far as me as a driver, I mean, my girlfriend Jess keeps another helmet ready to go, and it's really pretty easy. Just switch it out on the Hans and jump out of one car into the other car.
That was one of my next questions is, do you have to have 2 helmets, and how do you deal with tear-offs and all that? So is it physically demanding on you compared to what you would normally go through just racing one class?
It's really not that strenuous. If we have a lot of caution, anybody could do it. It's not a big deal when you have as many cautions as we did last week. I could put Jess in the seat and she could take care of it. It's not that difficult at all. But when you have 2 races in a row to go green, white, checkered, as we did in a couple cases last year, it can, getting toward the end of the 410 feature, I'm not going to say you don't feel it, but it doesn't get to the point where you get tired or where you start making bad decisions. It's still pretty easy.
Are you kind of a fitness guru? Do you work out or anything to stay in shape?
I do something every day. I don't go to the gym for an hour, but I do something every day. I split my body parts up, and I do 5 days worth of workouts. Relatively simple, within 20 to 30 minutes. Not a big deal, but it's something that I focus on every day, and I just feel like doing it every day for a shorter period of time, but a more strenuous level is better than doing it 3 times a week for an hour and only being able to work, certain things. So I've got my own program that I do every single day, and it seems to help.
What do you make of the kind of this rule this year with the top 8 redrawing every week rather than the straight 8 invert? Feel like you have a better chance to win races this year, or what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, starting 8th every week is definitely a little bit of a handicap. And we started 8th quite a bit last year, either one class or the other. It seemed like we had quick time pretty much every week. So it definitely makes it more difficult. I mean, a perfect example this week was Lasowski started somewhere 7th or 8th, and we started 4th. And we got up to the lead and took off, and we were able to kind of disappear. Whereas if he was right there with us, it might not have been that easy. I know they've been extremely tough, and they're going to be hard to beat, which is good. We relish the competition. It gives us a chance to up our game and know that we're one of the best cars in the Midwest.
And speaking of having one of the best cars in the Midwest with Sunby, it sounds like you're going to be sitting in the Woods 17W for this next week for a few nights. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. Friday night at Jackson, and then hopefully Sunday night at Houston if they don't get rain. But Sunday doesn't look very good for weather right now.
Again, you're sitting in for Brian Clausen, who's going to be racing at the Indy 500 this weekend. So him racing there, giving you the opportunity to race that car a little bit more. Have you ever had a chance to race on anything on pavement, like at Indianapolis or in a NASCAR type of vehicle?
No, I haven't at all. A heavier vehicle. I raced some kart stuff on pavement, which is nothing. I'm sure nothing the same. Racing a heavier vehicle like a NASCAR or racing an IndyCar, obviously those are very different. But I've never had a chance to go that kind of speed on pavement. It looks like a lot of fun, but I'm sure it's a complete and total different discipline. For somebody like Brian Clausen to be talented enough to jump from a non-wing sprint car to a wing sprint car to an Indy car all in the same month, that's not something you just do. That's not something you say, I want to do that and just go do well at all 3 things. I mean, he proved he can run top 5 in any sprint car division for the most part, and then go to Indianapolis and make the show. That's pretty amazing.
It is pretty amazing. You're also racing pretty regularly at Houston's this year as well. Is that correct?
We are going to be really hit and miss at Houston this year with the BR Speed team. Basically, we're probably going to run 12 races somewhere in that area, and they're going to be split between 410 and 360 stuff. He's got a 360 as well, so it's not going to be a ton of racing up here because Brian added some more shows to our schedule this year, so his racing program isn't going to be limited to just Knoxville this year. We're going to get on about a little bit and run some UMSS races and some other stuff as well. So that's going to help round out my schedule for, staying plenty busy this summer.
Yeah, that's great. Good to hear you guys are going to race a little bit more in the Sunbeat car. Well, I'm sure you got some sponsors you want to thank. You got a handful, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely, and they're a big part of our program, and everything that they do for us definitely comes back. Come the weekend, and you're able to see how good these cars are. It's because of the help and the everything that they do from week to week for Brian. And as far as Eagle Power Equipment, American Fab, and Midwest Equipment, Randy Gregus has really been there for us and really helped us out and helped the program move forward. And then along came EMI this year. We switched to EMI chassis, and that changeover has gone seamlessly, if not doing a little bit better this year. I'm not sure if that's completely the contributing factor, but I know that they are definitely a comfortable race car. And for me, it came natural. I wouldn't have even known he switched cars, so that's how nice the transition was. And Al Parker Performance, I can tell everybody up one side and down the other how awesome Parker Motors are, but the truth is you're not going to know till you get one. It's just it's an added advantage that you need at a place like Knoxville for sure. So definitely happy to have good engines and good chassis, which is the backbone of the team, and then to have good sponsors along with Randy's Lawn Care and Caravan Trailers and Birch Corp Financial and Newton Liquors, all the people that believe in us enough to put their name on the race car, that really makes us feel good and speaks volumes in week-to-week competition.
All right. Thanks for coming on the show tonight, Justin. Good luck to you the rest of the season.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
That was Justin Henderson, driver of the BDS Motorsports Brian Sunby #1 sprint car, running both 410 and 360 class. 360 owner points only, as drivers are only allowed to compete for one class. He elects to race for the 410 championship, obviously, with a little more money on the line there. So great to have Justin on the phone with us again this year. So we'll go into our last break. You're listening to the Knoxville Raceway Inside Line on KBOE. Thanks for listening to the Knoxville Podcast. This segment is brought to you by Pella Motors. They beat big city deals. Visit PellaMotors.com. Welcome back to the Knoxville Raceway Inside Line. Coming up this Saturday night at the Knoxville Raceway, Pizza Hut night. Discount opportunities available. The Casey's General Store receipts of $50 or more get you 2 tickets for $20. It's a savings of $10. Take advantage of that. Support Casey's General Stores. Veterans and seniors ages 60 and up is a $3 discount. Pella Corporation, Nationwide Insurance, and Farm Bureau members, $5 discount if you show proof of company ID. We have free kids' nights coming up later in the year, May 30th and July 11th. June 13th, the World of Outlaws MediaCom Shootout, the one race this year. The World of Outlaws will be at the Knoxville Raceway before the Knoxville Nationals in August, so mark June 13th on your calendars. Coming up in the FVP NSL series events, we've got one June 27th, July 4th will be Heroes Night, and the Knoxville Championship Cup Series Lucas Oil Finals, August 29th. Those three events remaining for the National Sprint League. Marion County Fair coming up in July. On July 10th, we have a concert with country music star Tyler Farr. July 12th, we'll have dirt carts from English Creek Speedway competing. And on July 16th, the IMCA Modified Harris Clash. August 6th through the 8th, the Arnold Motor Supply 360 Nationals, presented by Great Southern Bank. Sunday, August 9th, the 4th Annual Capitani Classic. Monday, August 10th, the 20th Annual Front Row Challenge here at the Southern Iowa Speedway in Oskaloosa. $20,000 to win. That is a NSL points race, so Front Row Challenge, $20,000 to win for the 20th anniversary. August 12th through the 15th, the 55th Annual FVP Knoxville Nationals. Tickets on sale. Single-day events there. Check those out at KnoxvilleRaceway.com for ticket information. Coming up September 19th through 20th, Monster Jam. Tickets went on sale this week for Monster Jam. Go ahead and get those ordered as soon as you can. September 24th to 26th, the Lucas Oil Late Model Nationals. Look for Dirt Dreams on MAV TV coming here in June. Should be some great episodes coming up here with McKenna winning, and look forward to Dirt Dreams coming up on MAV TV. If you don't have MAV TV, call your local satellite or cable provider, request MAV TV. Don't forget to follow Knoxville Raceway on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, Vine, the Knoxville mobile app. Lots of ways to stay connected. Of course, KnoxvilleRaceway.com has a lot of information as well. The National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum is open 7 days a week. Won't be open on Memorial Day on Monday. However, open 7 days a week typically. They're open on race days on Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. up to race night. Feel free to stop into the Hall of Fame and take a tour before you go to the races on Saturday nights. Knoxville Raceway wants to thank their partners, Lucas Oil, FVP, Casey's, Arnold Motor Supply, RacingJunk.com, Speed Sport, Pella Motors, and Great Southern Bank. We appreciate their support. Thank you to our guest, Justin Henderson, and thank you for listening to the Knoxville Raceway Inside Line tonight. We'll see you on Saturday at the Knoxville Raceway, hot laps at 6:45 p.m. Good night. Thank you for listening to the Knoxville Podcast. The Knoxville Podcast is made possible by our partners, Lucas Oil, FVP, Casey's General Store, Speed Sport, Arnold Motor Supply, RacingJunk.com, and Pella Motors.